Hi, boys and girls. Usually when an author writes a fiction book, there is a problem and a solution. And definitely in today's book, there is a problem and a solution. The name of the book is Charlotte the Scientist is Squished. That's a pretty big problem, being squished. So let's see what the solution is to this, all right? This is by Camille Andros. This is a page showing some of her scientific stuff. Charlotte was a serious scientist. Protective glasses, a lab coat, and a magnifying glass were her essential scientific equipment, plus a clipboard for important notes. Charlotte solved problems by conducting experiments that followed the scientific method. And over here on this page shows you the scientific method right there. Question, hypothesis, experiment, observation, and conclusion. Those are the steps that a real scientist goes through. And Charlotte had a problem. She was squished. She's got a big rabbit family, see? And there she is, squished. She was squished at the table. She was squished in the tub. And sometimes she was even squished on the toilet. And boys and girls, this is what is called an outhouse. They had them back in the old days, even before Mrs. Hiatt's time. Back in the old days, you didn't have a toilet inside your house. Your toilet was outside in a tiny little building called an outhouse. It had become impossible to conduct her experiments. Her test tubes were taken, her beakers got broken, and her specimens were spoiled. Charlotte needed some space. Time to use the scientific method. Step 1. Ask a question. How can I get some space around here? That's her question. Good question. Step 2. Form a hypothesis. A hypothesis means kind of like guess how you think you can solve this, how this can be done. So, hypothesis. If I can get rid of my brothers and sisters, I will have room to be a real scientist. Step 3. Test the hypothesis. Experiment. She tried an experiment to make everyone disappear, but it didn't work. She tried another experiment to make herself disappear. So, look right here, what she's doing to try to make herself disappear. But that didn't work either. If she was going to get some space, she would have to go there. Get it? If she needs some space, she's going to have to go to space. So see, her spaceship looks like a carrot. Step 4. Make and record observations. Charlotte was no longer squished at the table. She was no longer squished in the tub. Charlotte could take as long as she wanted on the toilet. And here's her list of observations. Meals, check. Baths, check. Toilet, check. And then the last thing on her list, important experiments. Space was splendid. I want you to think of what are some good synonyms for splendid? Good, great, astounding. Finally! Step 5. Draw conclusions. She had all the room she needed to conduct her very important experiments, using her protective glasses, lab coat, and magnifying glass. Her test tubes were tidy, her beakers looked brilliant, and her specimens were sparkling. Her hypothesis was correct. She finally had room to be a scientist. The only problem was there was no one to talk to at mealtime. No one to blow bubbles with in the tub. And what was Charlotte supposed to do when she ran out of toilet paper? Hello? Space was lonely. Back to step 2, form a new hypothesis. And real scientists have to do this all the time. If something doesn't work, you have to go back and start over again. So she's got to form a new hypothesis. If I can have friends in space, then I won't be lonely, and I can be a real scientist. Time for more experiments. Charlotte tried chocolate, but it was too tempting. The balloons kept floating away. She's got chocolate all over her face there. There's her half-eaten chocolate. And robot bunnies were poor conversationalists. That means they can't talk to you very well and have a conversation with you very well. They got ruined in the bathtub and tangled in the toilet paper. Boop! Charlotte missed her family. She even missed being squished. So she tried one last experiment. So look, she's coming back from space. Looks like her brothers and sisters are happy. She's coming back. And reached a new conclusion. Charlotte didn't need outer space. She just needed her own space. She doesn't need to go to outer space. She just needs a little space of her own, away from her brothers and sisters a little bit. And at the end of this book, it tells you some more about the scientific method. And it tells you that if you do any kind of experiments in science, you can either write to this address here or email this email address here and let Charlotte know. And I think that probably means the lady who wrote it, Camille Andros. She wants to know if you followed the scientific method. She wants to know what all your different steps were and how it worked out. So that would be cool sometime in science if you're doing some sort of experiment and be like, hey, wait a minute. We read a book about this. Can we write to that author? That'd be awesome. One of my classes one time, we emailed the author Lauren Tarshish, and she emailed us back like right away. It was super cool. So you can take an AR test over this. The number is 189-519. 189 519. Bye.